What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing super well. I just wanted to show you another video of the Necrotic Wake that I was doing. We've been pushing some keys, trying to get some crests. If you don't know, the only way to get Gilded Harbinger crests right now is to do a +9 key or higher. So it's actually much easier to do a 9 than a 10 right now, because at 10 you get the either Fortified or Tyrannical, whichever one you don't have. So just a quick note about that getting Gilded Harbinger crest is quite easy on +9 keys. But yeah, once you get to a +10, you're going to get the other side of the Fortified Tyrannical coin, right? Which adds a lot more power. But we've been pushing a lot of keys. I'm at 2415 right now. We're going to keep pushing. I've been doing a lot of LE keys recently as well, which has been a lot of fun. And we're just going to dive into the Necrotic Wake. I just wanted to show you sort of some of the most damage that I think I've ever done in a key so far this season. I think this is the highest I've ever done, and it does include an Augvoker, so that's generally why that happens. But it also was just a really smooth key run, and I want to show you all the different elements of how we ended up doing this key and why it ended up being so smooth. We just do so much damage here. I'm with the Stereo on the Shadow Priest. We got Ghost on the Augvoker, and then the healer and the tank are just pugs. So I want to emphasize that as well, is that I do a lot of these keys without a full-blown group of people. I've only got 3 out of the 5 people are people that I know, and we're not on comms right now either. I'm just on stream doing this key, and I'm not talking to anybody. So you know, I just want to make that really clear that we're not always on comms with other people having full-blown coordination. I think the secret, guys, to getting into good pug groups is to essentially pay your dues in the lower level pugs to really slog it out and get through those lower level keys and progress your score 1 key at a time, you know. And sometimes you can only go up by 1 level every single time. You've done a +5 Necrotic Wake, now you're going to do a +6, and now you're going to do a +7, and you're going to slowly work with. I know it's painful, I know it's frustrating. I really do understand that, because I do a ton of keys. I promise you, I really do get it. But if you want to get out of like the low key purgatory where you're stuck with players that are not doing a very good job, you really need to just get your rating up as best as you possibly can. Just push as hard and as fast as you can at the beginning of a season so that people will respect you, because that's the only way that pug groups will respect you, is if you have a high Mythic Plus rating. It doesn't matter almost anything else. It doesn't even matter. You need a decent item level on your character, and you have to have a high Mythic Plus IO, high score. That's it. And unfortunately, that's just the reality. If you don't like that, I understand. It can be annoying. It's just the reality that we live with. I wish it wasn't true, but you know, it just is. That's just the best way to do it. So that's my advice. If you're wondering, like, Zuko, I'm stuck in +4 keys, +5 keys. I want to get up to the +7, +8s. Like, how do I do that? You just need to slowly grind every key from a +5 to a +6 or a +7. Hopefully you can go up a couple a couple key levels at a time, and you just kind of work on it that way. That's the best way to do it. Yeah, here's the end of the first boss fight here. This is Blightborne, and one really important thing for Blightborne is to make sure that you're always shooting his frontal that he does back towards the green crap that's already on the ground, okay? So you're going to see it right here, the Heaving Wretch. Oops, sorry. I keep doing that. There we go. Pause. We shot the last Heaving Wretch back towards this thing right here. You're going to see it in a second. I think it's on the priest, or it's on Toddy list here. He just shoots it back towards. That's the main thing you need to do, because then you can like keep moving this way and keep shooting the ooze back that way. And then when the oozes come out, you need to crowd control them. So I'm dropping Cap Totem, even as like a DPS character. Like, it's really important. You got to contribute this way. This is how you're gonna win. If they get a lot of their attacks off, they will murder your whole group. They do this Blood Gorge attack, and they're gonna just murder everybody. If they actually get that off, it's really dangerous. So that's the first boss fight. Then the tank did this huge pull where he pulled the rest of the trash basically in this area. And I didn't really think about it before, but I think this is easier trash to pull than some of the trash later on in the dungeon. So this is a really interesting, unique pull that I hadn't seen before. And I really do think it's a lot easier to pull off. The only dangerous part of this pack is the drain fluids, guys. who are they're gonna try and single target stun somebody. So you just have to stop them from casting. You can see drain fluids right there. You just have to kick it and then stun it, knock it up, whatever, and you'll be able to handle it with ease. So yeah, I would say that this is a good pull to do. If you haven't done it before, I think you should probably try it. And again, this is my pug tank. I don't even know this guy. He just sort of wandered off and started doing this, and we were like, okay, we're going, I guess. So that's what we did there. He pulls almost everything in this first zone, except for the big dudes that they summon stuff and they do that big like AoE like rain. These gatekeepers, he didn't pull any of the gatekeepers, but otherwise he pulled everything else in this first zone, basically, which I think is fantastic. I would highly recommend it. Look at the zone is completely empty except for the 3 big channeler guys, the gatekeepers. So it's kind of crazy that he did it that way. Moving on to the next set of yeah, this is the last set of trash in this area that we hadn't done yet. Again, guys, I will link my build down below. It is a Stormbringer build. It is I should have said at the beginning of the video. That's my bad. It's a Stormbringer build, and we're just blasting on it. It's really, really good that way. So we again, we do have the Augvoker, but every single pack you're gonna have relevant damage with this build, in my opinion. You just will. Always kick this guy for your friend, although the blood DK is just going to pull him in, but you can kick that sorcerer if you don't have a blood DK tank. It really helps a lot. It helps to bring those mobs in. And then you're trying to do single target damage here. I'm padding a little bit right here, and I should not be padding so much, but I need to be on the Necromancer. You should just single target down the Necromancer, and I'm honestly kind of failing our team right now by doing AoE damage, or as much AoE damage as I was doing. So I switch over to single target right here, and we blast down the Necromancer, and there you go. He ends up dying. Once he dies, almost the entire rest of the pack will die, except for these 2 mobs here, okay? Kill these guys. We'll pull these packs together. Try and get the Bone Mend guy. Very important to stop him from healing. That's a really important one there. And then there's an orb that I didn't mention a second ago. The evoker has just grabbed the orb. It's above his head right there. It's over in this corner, okay? That's what the orb is. He's grabbed it. We're going to use it on the next pack, not this one, but the next pack, which is very dangerous. Okay? So this is the next pack right here. There's a second orb right here. So our evoker already has 1 orb. He's going to use it on these mobs to silence them. The orb silences and does AoE damage, okay? So I'm just gonna show that right there. He's doing it right now. He's pulsing. It's doing AoE damage, and it silences them. That buys you about 8 seconds or so to do as much damage as possible. And then I pinged the other orb for Ghost to go get. So Ghost runs out here. He gets the second orb. He runs back in and he pops it again. And now he's silencing them again. And it's just amazing for this pull. Double orbing this pull is really the best way to do it. You used to be able to skip this pack by like skirting along the edge over here and like jumping over here like this, and it just doesn't work as well as it used to anymore. You could still do like a rogue skip, or I think a warlock gate can also work, but the reality is most groups are just going to want to pull this pack now and double orb the pack to completely blow it up and do lots of damage. So that's how you want to do that. These 2 guys require a kick, and you got to watch out for the frontal gruesome cleave if you're playing melee. But otherwise, you're just kicking. So I told the tank that I'm going to kick non-skull, and he's going to kick skull. You can see the little skull symbol there. So they're going to start casting right now. There's Rasping Scream. You just need to have a kick order established. It's very easy, and then you can nuke these guys down. Then you're going to pull this pack on the left. The reason you're pulling this pack is because there's a spear behind them. You want to collect all of the spears in this dungeon. There's the spear right there. Somebody's going to get it. I already have a spear on me. You can see this little spear going through my little wolf frame there. You want to grab as many spears as possible. You're going to throw them at the 3rd boss, not the 2nd boss, which is the one coming up. You want to hit the 3rd boss with it, okay? We're going to kill this pack. Frostbolt Volley is very dangerous in here. That's something you need to kick or stun or knock up or whatever. Just stop it from happening. Frostbolt Volley is the most dangerous thing. Once again, you're focusing on the Necromancer. Once you do, all the other mobs in the pack will die, okay? Then we're pulling these 2 packs together. I'm going to kick this sorcerer here to make sure he comes in. So right there, I'm going to kick him right there. He walks in, and then the blood DK can just grip him as well. But again, any way you can help to stack the mobs together, you need to help out, okay? It's a really big deal in Mythic Plus. Always be looking out for those kicks, okay? Even if you're a DPS player and you're like, oh, I'm here to do damage, like, you need to contribute to crowd control, to knocking enemies up, to kicking enemies, dispelling things like maybe poisons or curses. You need to be contributing to this stuff. If you want to push into the higher keys, if you want to start doing +9s and +10s, this is the kind of stuff you have to do. You're never going to get anywhere if you're not aware of what your toolkit is and how you can use it to help make the key go better. Okay, I promise you, you're just not going to get anywhere. Okay, we're going to nuke this pack down. There's another orb right here, and I think the evoker grabs it. I think Ghost grabs it there. Yep. So now we have another orb. That's actually a really important orb, and I've been neglecting it so far in my Necrotic Wake runs, and I'm going to make sure I highlight it for you guys now because that's a really important orb. Now we're skipping this pack over here, and we're just going to pull the one guy, the Monstrosity. The reason we're skipping this other pack before the Monstrosity is because we pulled everything in that first zone, and I think that the mobs in the first zone are very easy to kill. Okay, very, very easy to kill. One thing that Ghost does right here, which I think anybody can do. I was about to do it actually. Oh no, Ghost doesn't do it. Somebody else does it. I think it's the healer. Our Druid right now is running up the steps. He's going to start the RP on the boss. All you have to do is get to the top of these stairs, and then the RP will start. He walks all the way into the encounter and gets stunned by like a thing. You can see right there. I can't see him anymore, but you don't need to walk in that far. You just have to get to the top of the stairs, and that's good enough. So just to, if you're like a ranged DPS player, or if you're a healer, which the healer doesn't really have much to do at this point in the on this fight, really, at all. So you can just run up and get the RP started so you don't waste any time. We're going to kill the Monstrosity. There's another spear that you're going to grab here for the third boss. The spear's right there. So by the time you get here, you're going to have 3 spears, and you're going to have 1 orb, okay? The orb you're going to use on this fight. The spears you're going to use on the next fight. Do not use the spears here, okay? Now, you need a strategy, I would say, for this boss fight for a couple reasons. Number one, you need to bring the adds into the boss. So on this first pack, we have Slappy Hands. So the Blood DK is doing Slappy Hands. He's pulling everybody in. And then I'm dropping a Cap Totem right there, okay? Boom, my Cap Totem's going off. It's stunning everybody. We can blow up the mobs. Easy peasy. If you don't have a Blood DK, you need to have a kicking order. You need to make sure that you know who's kicking what and exactly which mob. You need to kick the mages before they do Frostbolt Volley. It's very dangerous if they do the volley, okay? The other thing you really do need to have in this fight is a Soothe. And the Druid in our case has the Soothe, which is really good. Amarth will just enrage right there. You can see it. He's got this huge enrage on him. The Druid needs to get rid of that enrage, and I'm not even sure if he does it here. Yeah, he did it right there. So the Druid soothed the boss. That deletes 40% attack speed. He gets 40% just speed in general. And you'll notice if you don't get rid of that enrage, he'll start casting his necrotic bolts really, really fast, like omega fast, and it's really hard to kick them. So it makes the rest of the fight really, really hard. Here's our second pull. We do not have Slappy Hands this time, but I have my Cap Totem back. So I'm going to stun all the mobs that get in there, and then I'm going to pop Stormbringer. I would also recommend this as a DPS player on this fight. Save your big AoE cooldowns that you have for the moment when the mobs get clumped together. Clump the mobs up, destroy them with your AoE cooldowns, and then go back to doing your regular damage. If you blow your big AoE cooldowns for like no reason at the beginning of this fight, just to like pad your numbers or something, you're going to be in big trouble later on, okay? This fight is a very, very specific fight. There's the buff again. He had the buff again, but the Druid soothed it. So that's the two things. You need a soothe for this fight, either from a Hunter or a Druid. I'm not sure who else can do it, actually. I think it's just those two. And that to soothe this thing here. And then you need to figure out how you're kicking the mages so that you can kill them really, really quickly, okay? Now we're flying up. All these trash packs. Gore Splatter would be the most important thing you need to kick here. You need to get the one where he stuns people as well, but Gore Splatter is really the big one. And then the Patrol comes in. You're going to kill the Patrol. Drain Life is the other one. But Gore Splatter is really what you're looking at here. Every single one of these packs, you want to get Gore Splatter. But this is just, you know, pretty easy AoE pulling up here. Nothing too crazy. We're going to get to probably the hardest boss fight in Mythic Plus right now, or at least that's what people think. We're going to kill these two guys, and then we're going to kill this pack, and then we're going to kill the next pack. I'm just going to skip through all of it because it's very easy, okay? let's get to this last, this third boss fight. So you're going to pull the boss, and then you're going to get an arrow that points at the boss on the platform. You're going to get this guy to throw his hook at the boss. As soon as the boss gets hooked, you need to throw your spears at the boss and pop Bloodlust and blow all your cooldowns. So I'm Bloodlusting right now. Boom. I'm throwing my spear right now. Here goes the javelin. Now he has a debuff. You can see it right there on his frame, okay? He's got a javelin debuff. That means he's taking 20% more damage right now. And we pop Bloodlust. I'm blowing all my cooldowns, and we're just going to go. Watch Asteriel's damage here. This is crazy. I'm going to start doing a lot of damage, but the Shadow Priest is going to start doing insane amounts of damage on this boss fight. This blew me away how much damage he did. 1.5 mil. Here's the Morbid Fixation. We hook the Morbid Fixation. Everybody knows how to do that now. He's at 2 million damage on a boss fight. Look at the boss just melting, bro. It's crazy how fast he died. Actually insane. 2.4 million almost from the Shadow Priest. Really crazy damage right there. So that's how that fight should look. That's a +9. We just one-phased Surgeon Stitchflesh on a +9. And I'm telling you, if you do it correctly, that's how it can look, okay? And that's just how it can look if you do it right. You got to throw all the spears, you got to pop Bloodlust, you got to have all your cooldowns ready to go, and you can do that kind of damage on the fight. So really, really cool there to watch him do that. Then the last boss fight is pretty simple. We all know how to do this. It's a longer fight. It takes a little bit longer, but the main thing is the Comet Storm. As a Shaman, you can use Spirit Walker's Grace on this fight. You need to use it every time it's on cooldown and Comet Storm is coming. You need to use Spirit Walker's Grace to move around so that you can stay alive. One important note I'll make about the downstairs phase here. If you get sent downstairs on this phase, the quicker that you kill this mob, the smaller your little pool will be upstairs. So I popped a big Tempest on this guy and I blew him up in like 2 seconds. And therefore my circle, when I go back upstairs, was much smaller. So I get up here, I have to do a little phase. Watch the little circle that I drop. Also drop it off in a corner as well. But see how small it is over there? It's really, really tiny because I spent very little time in the downstairs phase. So just remember that. And then the rest of the fight, you're going to get through it. Ghost unfortunately died. That was our only death, actually, was just Ghost. That's kind of funny. I didn't realize that now. 1.77 million overall, guys. That was our damage. 1.77 million. I've never done that much damage before in a key this season. It was just huge. We just blasted and was very excited about that. So there's your breakdown. Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Lightning Rod, Tempest, Primal Storm Element. That's our Storm Ellie. Flame Shock, Lightning Bolt, and Earth Shock. Our Lightning Rod damage is really high. I think primarily because I'm taking Aftershock. And I will show you the talents once again for the Stormbringer tree. This is I'm doing Farseer right now, but this is exactly how the tree would look. So I think the biggest reason why my Lightning Rod is so high is because I take Aftershock, which lets me put multiple Earthquakes down. I get resets for free on Earthquake every once in a while, right? It's a chance, but like it happens often enough that on certain AoE packs, you can get 4, 5, 6 Earthquakes down, which puts 6 Lightning Rods down. And even if you're targeting the same target and you hit Earthquake on the same target, it'll put a Lightning Rod on another nearby target. So I'll get like 6 Lightning Rods out, and then I'll go into a Stormkeeper Chain Lightning, and all that Chain Lightning damage will just funnel into the Lightning Rods, and it ends up equaling a tremendous amount of damage. So that's because I take Aftershock instead of Surge of Power. I think Aftershock is a really good talent. I take it in all my builds, and I just did 1.77 million overall there, so it's a lot of damage. I'm going to link my build down below in the description if you want to see what it is. And that's it, guys. That's where it's at. My character right now is 617. We're at 21 haste. That's without a potion. So when I have a flask on, it actually is more like 25% haste, I think. But yeah, that's the key. That's a Necrotic Wake, and that's my LA Shaman absolutely blasting a crazy amount of damage in keys. If you want to know more about the build, come to the stream. Come check out the stream, twitch.tv/SukoVibes. I talk about it all the time. I'm doing keys every single day. I'm live, probably right now when you're watching this video. So come check me out, and the build description is down below. Okay, thanks so much again for watching. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.